Hello everyone, and welcome to my deck profile for my Chronomaly deck. I will be making dual videos of this deck, but for now I have just got the deck profile for you guys. Okay, so far we are running 3 copies of Chronomaly Crystal Skull. Now what this card can do is, if you have a Chronomaly monster on your side of the field, you can discard this card to add any Chronomaly monster from your deck to your hand, apart from Chronomaly Crystal Skull. This effect can only be used once per turn. Next, 3 copies of Chronomaly Crystal Bones. Its effect is similar to Cyber Dragon. If your opponent has a monster on your side of the field and you don't, you can special summon this card. When it's special summoned from your hand this way, you can special summon another Chronomaly monster from your hand or your graveyard, apart from Chronomaly Crystal Bones itself. Next, 3 copies of Golden Jet. Chronomaly Golden Jet is very effective in the sense that all Chronomaly monsters once per turn gain 1 level. Very useful for going into rank 4s or 5s. Next, we're running 3 copies of Chronomaly Maoi, or Maui, however you want to pronounce it. If there's a Chronomaly monster on your side of the field, you can special summon this card in face-up defense position. A handy strategy here for getting a level 6 out on the field is to normal summon Chronomaly Golden Jet, then use its effect, then use Crystal Skull's effect, get another Maui from your deck, special summon 2 of them, use Golden Jet's effect, and then you can go into a rank 6, or you can normal summon, use its effect to make it level 5, special summon, and then go into a rank 5. So there's a lot of handy things you can do with the Chronomaly monsters. That rounds up our Chronomaly portion of the deck. Now we are running 2 copies of Tool Guide of the Underworld, very useful in getting out level 3s. 2 copies of Genex ally Birdman. He's useful because you can return 1 monster from your field to your hand to special summon him. He's an easy to get out tuner, and there's a variety of levels for you to use him in. 2 copies of Arrival Golem. I used to run the field spell that enabled you to use this effect, but I didn't find much use for the field spell, so I just use him now because he's a 2100 defense monster. 1 copy of Honest, since we're running a lot of light monsters. 1 Sangan. Now I know in the new format that Sangan is in fact banned, but me and my friends, we don't bother with the ban list things because none of us do tournaments. You know, we just play for fun, so we see no reason to use the ban list. 1 Gorz, Emissary of Darkness. He's useful 2700 attack beta, and he can special summon himself whenever you take damage, or whenever you take effect damage. Since we're running a variety of lights and darks, we're running 1 copy of Blacklisted Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. That rounds up our monsters. Now we are on to the spell cards. We're running 2 copies of MST, 2 copies of Chronomaly Pyramid Eye Tablet. What this card does is, if you have a Chronomaly monster on your side of the field, they gain 800 attack points. All your Chronomaly monsters do. This is useful in case you can't do anything with the Chronomaly monsters in your hand. You know, at least that way they aren't, you know, your opponent can't gang up on them. 2 copies of Forbidden Lance, just to protect your monsters, or even to weaken your opponents by 800. I once took down quite a few blue eyes with this deck. That comes to Heavy Storm and 1 Dark Hole, just to help get rid of your opponent's field, and 1 Pot of Duality, just to help get over bad draws. Now we're on to the trap card portion. 2 copies of Magic Cylinder, 2 copies of Compulsory Evacuation Device, 2 copies of Sakaretsu Armour, and 2 copies of Bottomless Trap Hole. And last but not least, 1 copy of Mirror Force. That rounds up our trap cards. Now we are on to the extra deck. And in the extra deck we have got 1 Gaia Knight, the Force of Earth, a level 6 synchro monster, 2600 attack, 800 defense. Very handy one to get out. 1 copy of Stardust Dragon, as good as it's a level 8. 1 number 17 Leviathan Dragon. 2 copies of Wind Up Zenmaines. 1 Chronomaly Crystal Crononaut. Now he's pretty useful in the fact that when your opponent declares an attack, or when he's the target of an attack, you can detach 1 material and he's not destroyed by battle or card effect, and all damage you would take, your opponent takes instead. I used to run 2 of him, but I never really found the ability to use both copies, so I just took him down to 1. 1 Utopia. I don't really go into rank 4s, but when I do, it's nice to have a Utopia there, just in case. We're now on to our level 5s, there's a bit of a variety. 1 Adreus, Keeper of Armageddon. Detach 1 material to destroy 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. 161 Volcasaurus. He's incredibly handy. Detach 1 material to select 1 of your opponent's monsters and destroy it, and your opponent takes its attack points as damage. Its original attack points as damage. Very useful in getting rid of very strong monsters. Next we're running 2 copies of Wind Up Arsenal Zenmaines. Zenmaines is useful because you can detach 1 material to destroy 2 cards on your opponent's side of the field. Be it 2 face down spell and trap cards, 1 face down monster, 1 face down spell trap card, or 2 face down monsters. Doesn't matter which one. 2 copies of number 33 Chronomaly Maoi. I don't really know how to pronounce it. What this card can do is once per turn you can detach 1 material, select 1 of your opponent's monsters, and the difference between its original attack points and its current attack points get dealt to your opponent as damage, and the damage that your opponent took by that effect, it gains as attack points. So it boosts itself and hurts your opponent. Next we're running 1 copy of number 25 Force Focus. This is our level 6 overlay. He's useful because you can detach 1 material to stop one of your opponent's monsters using its effect. Very useful if you want to block things out. And finally 1 Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger. This guy is rather handy to get out in this deck because it can be overlaid using rank 5 or rank 6 monsters, which is incredibly useful, but I don't really know why this card requires materials, because on its effect it doesn't say it needs to have them detached. But it's a 2600 attack point piercer, which will always come in handy. And there you have it. That is my Chronomaly deck profile for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave comments in the comment section below about what you think could be improved or taken out. Thank you for watching.